Alright, stream is up and running. Looks to be mostly stable. Unlike our president. Alright. Launch underway. Countdown initiated. All right.
I'm here. Finally got my camera to look good.
Did you watch all of your For All Mankind's and Star Wars Mauls?
Watched all my Maul. I forgot about Mankind until it didn't work.
Oh, and then you watched it work?
No. New job does not give me time to watch all my work. 'Cause I'm one episode behind on Mankind, but caught up on Maul.
All right. Then we will do the pop culture discussion, and then Maul, and we gotta start producing some ads for this shit. Whether they be serious or spoopy. It's another entertainment element that we can put in the middle of the show to take like a quick 3 to 5 minute break. And then also advertise it as legit ad space.
Oh yeah. Just, your ad goes here in a picture. And
Well,
end of the bizarre thing.
I've put some thought into it even more. I'm not going to accept anyone's generic ads. Like if Geico, for example, wants a sponsorship and they want to throw an ad in our podcast, I'm going to tell them, no, I'm going to produce an ad. And if that's what you get. So like Carl's Jr., for example, I'm using the Idiocracy script for that one. You know, I'll do like whatever their specials are, and you get the big junior bacon cheeseburger at Carl's Jr. Carl's Jr., fuck you. I'm eating. Shit like that.
Welcome to Costco. I love
Right,
you.
yeah. Welcome to Costco. I love you. Welcome to Geico. I love you. Sign up with Geico. I love you.
Use our promo code. I love you.
Right. That'll show them.
That'll just be our promo code for everybody. Welcome to insert your company name here.
Yeah.
I love you.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. Every ad just gets. I love. Yeah. They love you very much. Well, they love your money, but.
Welcome to State Farm. I love you. No,
I'm paying myself to say that they love you.
No, it's I love you. It has nothing to do with them. That's what makes it even funnier.
Oh, that makes it even creepier. I like that.
They're like, oh, what are you saying? State Farm loves me? No, I never said that. I said I do. I feel like ads have really spun off because there isn't like SNL isn't as popular as it once was, where like you could make fun of an ad and all of the ads would change a couple months later. So I feel like that's
I felt like with the Super Bowl becoming like this competition of who can make the most entertaining and funny ad was the right direction, but then we just kind of went into a bunch of sentimental bullshit and turned it into a platform for nonsense. So,
well, dude, that's the funniest thing is because like at first it was just the most expensive place to buy an ad because everybody was watching, but then they were like, everybody's watching, maybe we should take 20 seconds to waste their time. Oh, they changed the channel.
hey, to all you Lightwood, good to see you. Let's get the shit started. Tonight, we've got an exciting discussion taking place in a galaxy far, far away as Maul continues to keep us just in our chairs and on the edge of our seats. And then we're also going to talk some For All Mankind and, of course, a lot of stuff in pop culture going on in the podcast. Figured I'd shove all the words out. And welcome once again to tonight's Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast. All you Lightwood in the chat saying, hey, hope everyone is having an amazing day. And, hopefully everybody else is finding their way to their couches, their office chairs, wherever you guys decide to check us out. One day you'll hear us on our podcast channels again. We just have to figure out how to get that going. And, when we do, we'll let all of you guys know. But we are here tonight. We've got a lot to talk about, a lot of entertainment news going on, a lot of Star Wars stuff going on, a lot of, For All Mankind stuff going on. There's so much. I don't even know if an hour and 45 minutes is truly going to be enough to get through all of it. All right, background audio is backgrounding. We've got good tunes. We've got good discussion. We've got John. We've got me. I guess Corione is taking the night off. All right. Hope everything's going well with you, Corione. We love you. We miss you, obviously, because you're not here. But, hey, join the show if you can, or at least blow up the comments. John, you got anything before we start today's show?
No. I was about to do the all the small things, but I can't really say work sucks.
All the small things. Yeah. Speaking of small things, we didn't see. Someone at Polygon saw the first 15 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu, and I have a lot of thoughts. You may have seen me tease this on the 3-minute podcast, giving it an entire 3 minutes of attention, which was amazing. Now I'm going to actually read through this entire article, and we're going to argue about it. All right. The Mandalorian and Grogu is facing a lot of pressure to refuel the sputtering franchise. That's like a really nice way of putting it. Ever since the disastrous conclusion of the sequel trilogy with 2019's Episode 9, The Rise of Suckwanker, Star Wars has been relegated to pumping out TV shows for Disney's streaming platform. Okay. Yeah, that's true. Now the franchise is making a theatrical comeback with Jon Favreau's feature-length continuation of his popular Star Wars series, The Mandalorian. Ahead of the film's premiere on May 22nd, Disney invited a handful of journalists to watch the first 15 minutes of The Mandalorian and Grogu at IMAX headquarters in Los Angeles. Polygon was part of that group, making me one of the first people not employed by Lucasfilm to see anything beyond the trailers. While it was exciting to see Din Djarin and Grogu on the big screen, my first impression of the film is that it feels more like a Star Wars video game or a Netflix show than the blockbuster movie that's going to return Star Wars to its former glory. Alright, I guess that's a thought. The Mandalorian and Grogu doesn't begin with an opening crawl. Instead, we get a few sparse lines of text to set the scene and catch up any film-going audiences who've never watched the Disney Plus show. Although if you're not caught up on The Mandalorian, you're going to find this movie somewhat confusing. Okay, so that already we have a concern out of the gate. It relies on a lot of established context to succeed, apparently.
Wait, that's like 15 minutes? Like the first 15 minutes is going to be an exposition dump mixed with a here's where we've been since you last saw us, which I don't see a problem with it needing to rely on the original Mandalorian show.
Yeah.
I also don't understand if this guy's saying that more because Mandalorian and Grogu are already besties.
Right.
Like, who cares? If you want to go find out how they became besties, they've got an origin show. But at the same time, I don't get how you can be confused in the first 15 minutes unless there's like 4 scenes where he's like hanging out with some other Mandalorians and they're like, hey, you guys remember when we did that thing?
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
save that child from the dragon pit. And it's like, name a movie that doesn't have something with that and no TV show so that you can go see it.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's just exposition and this guy got really confused about it.
Maybe. In the aftermath of Return of the Jedi, the New Republic rebuilds in the ashes of the Empire. Meanwhile, our heroes hunt down surviving Imperial forces on the outskirts of the galaxy. Oh, this is already starting to sound like Dark Forces and Jedi Outcast. The story opens in one of those remaining Empire strongholds, where a mid-level crime boss is busy extorting his local syndicates. I think we can all agree that things were better under the Empire, he says, before leading his unenthusiastic clients in a chant of, Long live the Empire! A second later, the unnamed crime boss shares some bad news. He's raising prices for everyone paying for his protection. When one of the other criminals present points out that they're currently operating at a loss, while local trade routes are full of pirates and thieves, the mob boss shoots him dead. Then before the meeting can end, Jaren shows up. That's a word. Eponymous? I think I got that right. Eponymous Mandalorian bursts into the room with his usual flair, shooting flames across the floor to disarm a pair of hiding guards. The crime boss runs for an escape hatch, and Mando pursues him outside into the snowy mountains where Grogu is waiting. Mando commandeers a two-legged AT-ST walker, and Grogu hops on. The camera pans down to reveal several AT-AT walkers below. It looks like an establishing shot in a video game. And not just because the entire thing was likely created in Unreal Engine. Favreau points the camera purposefully at the upcoming enemies and the path our heroes will have to travel to reach them. All that's missing is a spinning autosave icon. Oof. Din rides the AT-ST down the mountain at full sprint. I didn't realize they were capable of that. And manages to destroy one of the AT-ATs from below. He then bursts into a second walker and finds a mob boss who hops in an escape pod and looks like a familiar AT-AT head and flies away. But Mando shoots him down and the pod explodes. Our heroes then escape via jetpack seconds before the AT-AT blows up, and they're rescued by Zeb, a Chewbacca-esque. I don't know if Chewbacca-esque is how yeah. Star Wars Rebels, voiced by Steve Bloom, who's flying their ship. Did you have a thought? Zeb is clearly annoyed that they're returning with...
No, I would go like, they're just trying to make it, like, they're trying to say it's watered down, or like, it's desensitized, like, oh yeah, we got another Chewbacca just showing up. But like, if you watch Star Wars...
I would not describe Zeb like
as Chewbacca, aside from his ability to lift weights, but that's like going
his ability, right? His ability as an enforcer. He's a bit angry, you know. He gets very like emotional, sure, and yeah, there's similar backstory between Chewbacca and Zeb, but like, I gotta be honest here.
Corion's in the background.
Oh, he is.
Says he is.
Sorry about that, guys. I got delayed.
Ah, you must be Delta Airlines.
Yeah, pretty much.
No, but like,
yeah,
Zeb
at least they're still flying, unlike Spirit.
Right? Zeb doesn't really act like he's a Chewbacca unless you're like mostly because he talks. Like, he has regular voice. He plays with the characters as they're growing. He grows himself. Like,
he's the enforcer in the muscle. That's the only, like, that, and I guess the tragic backstories of Zeb's homeworld and Kashyyyk are similar, you know,
not
enough.
Even
but that's
close.
Oh,
when they find out about Zeb's backstory, like,
oh yeah,
basically his species is borderline all Force sensitive, but at the same time, it's more like a Dungeons and Dragons Force, like much more magical and a lot more like light energy, like paladins, I guess would be the best description.
Yeah.
And we only get a taste of his homeworld. Whereas like Kashyyyk is literally like bigger Ewoks.
It's pretty
And
good.
Ewoks were literally created because they couldn't afford to find a bunch of Wookiees.
All right.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to continue
They
to
were
look.
They were discount Wookiees.
All right, do
Yeah.
we want to continue our 15-minute spoiler of
Sure.
Mando and Grogu? All right, here we go. Zeb is clearly annoyed that they're returning without a prisoner. You catch the bad guys, so they tell us where the other bad guys are, he says. Things went sideways, Mando replies. In the next scene, their ship lands on Adelphi, the planet from The Mandalorian where the New Republic pilots like to hang out. And the gang heads to a cantina seen in the show. They meet up with the New Republic boss, Ward Sigourney Weaver. She calls Mando's work very messy and complains that without proper information, they can't figure out what the Empire is doing. You mean the Remnant. I'll take out every bad guy in your deck of cards, Mando says, referencing her literal deck of Sabacc cards with villains printed on them. The sort of item you'd get handed to in an open world game as you unlock each new mission.
No, that's a direct freaking reference to what was it, Desert Storm Part 2, the Revengeing,
Yeah.
where they literally put all the bad guys on a deck of poker cards.
Yeah, and I think Osama bin Laden was the ace of spades.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can say this is a video game trope, but it's also a military.
It's also a
trope.
U.S. military trope.
Yeah, but it was a U.S. military trope first.
Right.
Like, that's where the video games got it from. Like, dude, you clearly have not done your homework.
Like,
Seriously, and like the video games miss the most important part, which is you could sell those decks of cards if you actually took the time to make 52 faces.
Yeah.
Like, at
Yeah,
least the U.S. military actually did sell their bounty cards.
it's
Yeah.
from Jake Kleinman, and yeah, I think we've got like weapons great. I think we've definitely got this. This is definitely oozing Zoomer.
Right.
Mando asks whether he's still getting paid. Ward says yes and leads him outside. At this point, we get a credits sequence as they walk through the shipyard in what feels like the opening of a Top Gun movie. Oh shit, so we're getting Star Wars Top Gun before we get the real Star Wars Top Gun. We reach the Razor Crest, which isn't a repaired version of the ship our hero totaled back in The Mandalorian Season 2. It's a different
He
ship
didn't
of the
total
same-
it. It got nuked from
Blown
orbit.
up. I know. I don't even know if this guy actually watched it. It's like I'm starting to think that that Jake Kleinman, gets this little this little catch up here because I guess the movie opens with "Here's everything you missed," and it seems like Jake Kleinman probably went in to write this article and was like, "Okay, Theory, can you tell me what happens in The Mandalorian Season 1 through 3? Sure, I can tell you what happened in The Mandalorian Season 1 through 3. Here's a bunch of crap I just made up that doesn't even exist." Because that's what I feel like we're getting. Yeah, Mandalorian totaled his ship. Shot from orbit, but yeah, I guess that's his fault.
Right?
Who writes this crap? Oh yeah, Jake
In
Kleinman.
Season 2, Episode 3, Mandalorian was drunk driving his ship and clearly crashed into a school bus full of children.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Mr. Kleinman, I'd like to remind you that occasionally ChatGPT hallucinates and does not produce factual information.
Yeah. I'm
Even
sorry,
though
Kleinman.
All of the scripts for all of the episodes can be found somewhere.
Yeah.
It'll still hallucinate.
Well, this
Yeah.
is what happens when you just use the internet to hire people. Anyway, let's see. Yeah, so which the New Republic sees from an Imperial commander. Mando notes that the ship is worth more than what he's owed, and Ward says to consider it in advance on his next mission. Oh. So that's how he gets the new Razor Crest. Razor Crest
Okay.
2.0.
Which I'm kind of okay with.
Yeah, it seems like it's a bit of an earned, an earned prize.
Not only is it earned, but it's more like establishing how much he's already done. for
Right.
the rebels, like for the Alliance or whatever they're called now, the New Republic. But at the same time, it also goes
good
to
guys.
show that like
That
one
are
of
also
the
corrupt.
most important things we all made fun of in season 3 with the Naboo fighter was there's only 2 seats.
Right. Yeah.
To be a bounty hunter with only 2 seats.
You bring them all in cold is the answer.
Right.
Which, apparently, the New Republic is like, that's too messy. So
Just-
here's a ship.
Just has like a, freaking, just like a whole tangle of body bags dragging behind the Naboo starfighter when he's going to and from.
They're just tied to the wing.
Just ties him to the
They're
wing.
just all carbon frozen, and they all fall in like dominoes every time he lands.
Yeah, there you go.
The best part though is like this guy was saying this is like a video game, and if it truly was like a video game, you'd have to go find that ship and it'd be missing 3 parts to start.
Right.
Like then nobody gives you the best ship at the beginning of the game or gives you your favorite ship at the beginning of the game. You have to grab the Miata first, win some races, and then you can buy the car you want to buy.
Yeah.
Like I do get where this guy's coming from, where it feels all video gamey, and it's like, yeah, none of these planets are real.
Yeah. Well, I
None
hate
of
to
these
break it to
things-
you, but Mandalorian and Grogu from jump felt video gamey. That was part of the appeal.
Right.
Yeah.
Video games are meant to feel like this, not the other way around. And I don't think this guy's giving it all these negative markers, but it's like
I'm kind of
I
wanting to
play
see this
video
movie
games
now
for
even
all of
more.
that
Like,
stuff.
his crappy review of the first 15 minutes is actually making me more intrigued to see the film. Yeah, Commander Coin, she expositions. Our ace of spades. No one knows what he looks like, and most believe he's dead. The Hutts have agreed to lead Mando to Coin because ex-Imperials have imprisoned Rhoda Hutt. Mando's job is to free Rhoda and then get the information needed to track down Coin. I don't work for gangsters anymore, Mando replies, especially the Hutts. In response, Ward essentially says, "You work for me." He begrudgingly agrees. While most of the footage I saw looked fine, if a little heavy on the CGI, this last exchange was particularly dull. Favreau shoots it in the same portrait mode style framing as so many Netflix shows, with each character practically speaking to the camera against a blurry background that recreates the feeling of a Zoom meeting. That's literally how shots have been done in dialogue since like the last 30 years. Where is this? What movies does this guy watch?
Yeah, like, come on, dude.
As our preview came to a close, a final sizzle reel showed a bunch more stuff without content, including Mando fighting a giant snake monster and Grogu in a swamp that looks like Dagobah. From all this footage and some interviews that followed, it's clear that Favreau and his team put a ton of work into bringing the Mandalorian and Grogu to the big screen, and while I'm hopeful that the rest of the movie will offer the kind of visuals and storytelling the best Star Wars films excel at, nothing in the first 15 minutes makes me feel optimistic about the remaining 2 hours I still haven't seen. Honestly, and I know I played into it, with the way I presented the 3-minute podcast on this particular article, it just kind of feels like it's drumming up drama for clicks and trying to make it seem like there's honestly, there's nothing in here that I'm really worried about. If anything, after reading this article, I feel a little bit more confident that the movie's actually going to be fine. And not like, it's definitely not headed for disaster. It's just a matter of, are people going to be excited in time?
That's it, really.
All right, turning back now to our galaxy, Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 4 premiere set for July 2026. Star Trek Strange New Worlds Season 4 will premiere on Paramount Plus on Thursday, July 23rd, 2026. The streamer announced at Saturday at CCXP Mexico. Series stars Rebecca Romijn, Ethan Peck, Celia Rose Gooding, and Paul Wesley were on hand at the convention for the announcement and reveal of the new trailer for Season 4. Oh boy. Are you guys ready for the new trailer for Season 4? I actually haven't watched this yet.
Do I have a choice?
Well, there's always a choice. Because they're just going to talk about it anyway. But that's fascinating. Series stars Rebecca Romaine, Rebecca Romaine, Ethan Peck, Celia Rose Gooding, and Paul Wesley. Look who wasn't there.
Yeah,
Look who
Anson
didn't
Mount.
show up. The star of the show. All right, kill the background music, and let's get a look at... Oh, wait, this is an official clip. That's not a trailer. All right, give me 1 second, folks. I'm going to...
Yeah, no problem. So, no, I think up until this point, Strange New Worlds has been extremely hit or miss. Sometimes it turns out actually pretty, like, the episodes are, like, acceptable, and sometimes they're just really dog bad. And, I'm like, I still have as of yet to see a high point.
I think a lot of people have said it best. The high point was the first season that they lucked into, and they've had a couple of moments. There were a couple of episodes in season 2 and season 3 that I liked, but overall, I completely agree. It's mostly been miss in the long run, and I think we just really wanted to like this show because, well, it had the potential to be amazing, and, well, it wasn't. So
yeah, like, I ultimately think that was the problem with it.
Yeah. Okay. MST3K seats, everybody. Let's go.
I have ever been prone to seek adventure and to investigate where wiser men would have left well enough alone.
Uhura got a haircut.
Space is limitless in its beauty and in its terror. You can do everything right. And sometimes things still don't work out the way we'd hoped.
Any of these missions could be unasked.
Thankfully, half the characters have...
Wait a minute. Was that a dinosaur?
Let's boldly go.
Boy, that just reeks of desperation.
Make sure there's heat and oxygen waiting for me.
I will do my best.
I mean, was that Savick that they were trying to throw in at the end there in the transporter room?
Oh, I hope not. All right, where'd you think you saw a dinosaur?
A little further back. Keep going, keep going. Keep going. It's before this, before this. Here, I think it might have been in here.
Beauty. And in its terror.
Like, just watch for it. Keep going.
You can do everything right.
It was like a bunch of quick flash scenes.
And sometimes
in
things
here,
still
I
don't
think,
work
somewhere?
out the way we'd hoped.
Any of these missions could be unasked.
There!
Yeah.
Dinosaur!
All right.
Hey, do you remember the Star Wars storyboard we all made hilarious fun of for including dinosaurs in the list? Did Star Trek steal their board?
They must have, because it... nothing about this instills too much excitement or confidence. In fact, it just instills more of the same slop we've already been seeing. I mean...
To be honest, that just raises further questions for me.
Right?
Like, what the hell?
Yeah, exactly. All right, so back to the article. The trailer shows James T. Kirk hugging Mr. Spock, a T-Rex, and plenty of shots of the Enterprise in cosmic peril. Yeah.
So I wasn't hallucinating. Okay.
Yeah. The official synopsis for Season 4 says, the crew of the USS Enterprise, led by Captain Christopher Pike, embark on a series of thrilling and emotional adventures across the stars. As they journey to strange new worlds, they will battle inner demons and external threats, encounter colorful new characters, reunite with familiar faces, and confront... Oh, yeah, that was the other thing. You were curious if that was Savick, but I don't back and find out. New characters. Through it all, they strive to embrace a bright, hopeful future. Season 4 stars all those people. Yeah. Oh, that's it. That's very much that. Honestly, I think.
Okay, but like, in the transporter room, the girl that was like, "I will try" or whatever for Scotty, she reeked of like early Savick or something. And that worries me even more. That.
Yeah.
Like, you can see why I has a concern.
Well, because she shouldn't be in this early anyway. So.
Well, one, she shouldn't be in this early anyway. She was a cadet
in Wrath of Khan.
Yeah. So that's one. And two, that implies that they think they're going to get movies.
No, they're not getting anything. The Kurtzman Trek is essentially dead at this point, and we're basically.
Gods, I hope so.
Well, they're moving forward with Star Trek United, which is supposed to bring back Scott Bakula, but we'll dive more into that probably next week because I think more information is coming out soon. But yeah, we gotta keep on our track for now because we got a lot to get through. We still have to talk about Maul, and then we gotta kick John off the panel, and then go back to For All Mankind. So, which by the way, For All Mankind has just been absolutely amazing the whole time.
Yeah.
Sad that the show will be ending after season 6, but I think they're gonna give us the ending that'll be.
Well, they're doing Star City.
Oh yeah, we got Star City starting up next month. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or did that start today? Shit, I don't remember. Well, figure it out. Pedro Pascal fights back tears during Mandalorian and Grogu event in Mexico. Pedro Pascal felt the full force of his emotions during the Star Wars Mandalorian and Grogu panel at CCXP Mexico. The Chilean-born actor joined director Jon Favreau as unannounced guests at the event in Mexico City on Sunday, ahead of Disney releasing their film May 22nd. Sigourney Weaver and Jeremy Allen White also star in the movie that marks the first theatrical release for a feature from the Star Wars franchise since 2019. And this is what has me most excited about it, is we are officially separating Episode 6 from the sequel trilogy by putting this movie in between those films. So that's kind of cool.
That does it kind of smoothly.
Yeah. Pascal, sporting a Mexico Men's World Cup 2026 soccer jersey, explained that
Which I don't blame him for at all. That's the way to do it.
It was meaningful for him to have the project hit the big screen after the original after he originated his titular character on the streaming series The Mandalorian. The show premiered on Disney Plus back in 2019. As soon as I saw this, I knew that it would be a new authorship of a streaming experience, the actor said about the series that was last seen with 2023's Season 3 finale. But I always had a dream in my heart that it would be on a big screen because that's how I was developed as a child. I went to the movie theater so much with my family and I saw Star Wars movies on the big screen. After then sharing some words in Spanish, Pascal became visibly emotional and paused to push back tears. This led a big cheer from the crowd as attendees started cheering his name. After again addressing the audience in Spanish, the actor blew a kiss to the fans. Video from the moment can be seen above. For Favreau, it was important that the film expand the series' story while still feeling accessible for the uninitiated. Mandalorian and Grogu centers on Mandalorian bounty hunter Din Djarin and young apprentice Grogu, aka Baby Yoda, as they help defend the New Republic. Favreau, Kathleen Kennedy, Ian Brice, and Dave Filoni serve as producers on the feature that has a script from Favreau, Filoni, and Noah Clore. We wanted to introduce these characters to a new audience, Favreau said, but for the fans who have been there forever, like this crowd, we wanted to evolve the relationship. It's no longer about the Mandalorian rescuing Grogu. Now Grogu has leveled up. He's a Mandalorian apprentice. He's studying under Luke Skywalker. He's coming into his own, and now he's discovering and unleashing his abilities. Huh? Did he just spoil something from the movie?
I think possibly.
Because that was my theory back in
where they're
season 3, that was one possibility, because we never see the conversation between Mando and Grogu, that Luke was going to instead let him train with Mando first and then come back to the academy.
Yeah.
And that line kind of suggests that that might be the theory, might be reality.
Like, I'm digging it if that's the case.
Like I said, was disappointed that we just kind of went back to Mando and Grogu and then season 3 was, I don't know, but anyway. Yeah. All right, are you guys ready for another trailer?
Hit it.
All right. Spider Noir trailer sets the stage for 1930s mystery and super-powered goons. All right, we're going to watch it on the website this time because we're not stuck with a clip. Killing the background audio.
Every mystery forms a complex web. But pull the right strand, and it's a straight line to the answer.
The universe trends to disorder. Monsters on the loose! All you can do is fight to keep the chaos from your door.
I came here to offer you a job. My friend disappeared.
You haven't given us much to go on.
What can I say? The world's a dangerous place. But I think you're braver than you let on.
Got me growing 6 black tentacles.
You've been in a hole ever since Ruby died.
We're chasing ghosts.
Maybe we can belong together.
This is your chance to put that shovel down.
So what are you waiting for?
Let the best man live.
This is how it ends.
The people could use a hero. Fighting is the point. He's the best show in town.
What happened to your face?
I walked into a door.
How many times?
Oh, it's a series.
Well, that's new. Yes, it sounds crazy, I know.
I mean, Nick Cage Spider-Man.
I don't
I'm in.
shut up and take my viewing time. Like, holy crap, did that just
That
everything
slaps.
that I just watched in that, I don't care how silly it is. I don't care. More multiverse stuff. Yeah, you know, that just looks way cool with a lot of good substance, a lot of cool character, and you can either watch it in black and white or color.
Right?
So that's
Might have to watch it in both just to make sure you didn't miss anything.
I know.
And that doesn't sound like a loss.
It really doesn't.
You had me at Nick Cage Spider-Man.
Right? Yeah, I mean, Nicolas Cage as Spider-Man, shut up and take my frickin' streaming money. Nick Cage as 1930s black and white noir Spider-Man, shut up and take my streaming. That, like I said, there.
No.
Hell, I'll go one step further. Shut up and take my gold press Latin.
I mean, that show gets my interest, thumbs up, approval, and it's on Amazon Prime, even better. So that just makes me all the more excited. So definitely get your Amazon subscription ready. I believe, let's see, when does this show drop? I should have looked for the date. Are we still in the coming soon phase? Well, oh, wait, sorry. First full-length trailer, live-action plot ahead of its linear channel, May 25th. Prime Video premiere, May 27th. Looks like we got
it is.
a show for the summer. Cool. All right. Big Bang Theory spinoff. Yay, another one. Stewart fails to save the universe reveals first look. The world is falling apart in the first look at the Big Bang Theory spin-off series. Stewart fails to save the universe. Cast members Kevin Sussman, Lauren Lupkus, Brian Posen, and John Ross Bowie took the stage at CCXP Mexico City to tease their project that combines comedy with sci-fi and is set to begin streaming on HBO Max in July. Stewart Fails to Save the Universe centers on Sussman as comic book store owner Stuart Bloom, who was introduced on the CBS comedy series The Big Bang Theory when his pals Leonard and Sheldon would visit the shop. The new program features Stewart doing his best to restore reality after he breaks a device that Sheldon and Leonard had built, which inadvertently causes a multiverse Armageddon.
Okay.
Posen told fans from the stage about the title character, the fun is watching him fail every week, Sussman added, that viewers will get to learn more about Stewart's romance with Lupkus' character. When The Big Bang Theory ended, our relationship was just budding, and now you can see where it goes. Okay, then. Joining Stewart's quest are his girlfriend Denise, geologist buddy Bert, and irritating quantum physicist Barry Kripke. Their path
Oh my god. It's all the B characters.
It's like, yeah, right? Which means it could actually be really good. But Sussman notes that Stewart takes on a leadership role in this, but warns he's not very good at it. The actor adds about his on-screen counterpart, I do my best, but really I'm way out of my comfort zone. So.
This is the Big Bang B team.
As long as they got rid of the laugh track or the live studio audience, it might actually be a banger. Because it's going to HBO. It's not going to CBS.
Yeah, this doesn't look like it's filmed under live audiences. This looks like it's filmed.
Yeah, somewhere.
Filmed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Ah! Activated
So,
a button.
Part of me is sitting here going, this could be actually kind of funny. And part of me is also going,
it could also be a huge
they did the
disaster.
stupidest. Yeah, they found the stupidest way to do a sequel.
I don't know. I don't know. Will we check it out? Look, I'm with Spider Noir already, so.
Yeah.
I don't want it to be so good that I'm tempted to go back and actually finish The Big Bang Theory.
Oh.
But I am down for it to be pretty good.
I don't want to, have to catch up on Nerd Face, the TV show. All right, speaking of disappointment, Zach Galifianakis rules out Between Two Ferns return.
I mean, yay.
Dude, honestly, this would have been the funniest podcast if he had just kept it going. Like, he did so good.
Why would we even need to be here?
It was so funny. And the movie was pretty good. But, like, the actual episodes where he's just doing the podcast part, where he's talking to somebody, the amount of tension is so palpable, and it feels so funny.
The episode where
I'll be honest with you, I never, the tension just put me completely off it.
The episode where he interviewed, yes,
so hard.
The Hillary Clinton interview.
You find out that she was in on it, and I laughed even harder because I didn't know they could convince her to go with those kind of punches.
Yeah,
fine,
man, I was just. It wasn't my game, but
I thought that
my favorite is which one was it? Not Ben Affleck. It's Bradley Cooper when Bradley's just like not having any of it, and he's just so hurt that Bradley won't do the show properly.
Jeez. Between Two Ferns, the Zach Galifianakis made waves into the 2010s for its awkward interviews with celebrities and clips of its surreal, satirical talk show improv still do the rounds on the internet. The Hangover star would ask the likes of Brad Pitt and even the former U.S. President Barack Obama insults dressed up as questions that would often get both interviewer and interviewee laughing uncontrollably. But after a 10-year run, Between Two Ferns came to an end in 2019 with Between Two Ferns, the movie. Since then, nothing. So Galifianakis consider restarting Between Two Ferns for a new era, based on comments he gave recently while promoting his new Netflix series, This is a gardening show. It's unlikely. Speaking on the Rich Eisen show, Galifianakis said that tonally Between Two Ferns wouldn't work these days because we're living in meaner times. I mean, I feel like we're kind of living in a...
Like, I get what he's saying, though.
Yeah. I feel like we're kind of living in meaner times right now, he said, and I'm not sure that totally might work at this moment. I don't know. Rich Eisen then suggested that the audience is in on the joke now, and Galifianakis replied to say, maybe that is the reason to return to the show. Galifianakis went on to explain that Between Two Ferns was not a show about pranking his guests. Indeed, they were often in on the joke, although it wasn't until the bloopers were released that the cat was officially out of the bag. So the interviews are initially authentic.
That's the funniest part. It turns out that both parties were acting the whole time, and so he says the most, honestly, like the most disrespectful things that he could say in the most Canadian way. And so then the person he's interviewing always has to one-up him because they're in on the joke. So they're trying to make it worse, and it works so well. I thought it was such a great show.
Yeah. Obama was the only guest who got questions ahead of time. Otherwise, everybody else was authentic. Galifianakis, as I said, Between Two Ferns started as a way to make fun of the sycophantic way that Hollywood machine runs. In the 2014 episode featuring Brad Pitt, the actor was referred to as both Bradley Pitts and Bart Pitt. At one point, Galifianakis asked Pitt if his relationship with wife Angelina Jolie was anything like Ross and Rachel from Friends. Oh, man. It's like the nuke of the century, man. That's brutal. Okay. This would probably be about the time I'd want to do a fake ad. John Wick 5 gets a first positive update in a year. First positive update. Is it canceled? If you're like me, you're probably annoyed that this franchise still exists. Like, really, I thought the novelty wore off after John Wick 1, but I guess we're just gonna milk this cow until it's what?
Well
like a
and truly
quantum
dead.
Pocket collapsing in on itself and still finding milk from other alternate universe counterparts from its other cows and other universes. I don't... But I'm just one man on this panel. What do you guys think of John Wick 5?
I mean, I think personally it depends on where they take the plot. If it actually turns out to be good, I won't complain.
So you've been keeping up with all the John Wicks?
I mean, I have.
See,
like, look, 4 and 3 and 4 were not my personal favorite, but 1 and 2 were pretty good as far as I was concerned.
Yeah. John Wick 5055 says Dahlia Lightwood. Next movie, John Wick gets revenge on an enemy in a nursing home. That's honestly where I feel like we're headed. Yeah. Give me the monkey shoulder, or the white monkey. Okay. John Wick 5 just got a positive update that suggests the movie will be made eventually, but it still sounds some way away. Plans for a full John Wick 5 Chapter 5, once again starring Keanu Reeves, were announced April last year, but just 2 months later in June, director Chad Stahelski said he was still trying to work out a story for the sequel, in order to work around the climactic ending of John Wick Chapter 4. Right. Warning, spoilers for John Wick 4 to follow. Well, alright, so before I ruin this franchise for me that I have no interest in continuing with, I'm just going to come right out and explain why I'm so annoyed. First of all, I really enjoyed the first John Wick movie. Like, really enjoyed it a lot. I appreciated its commitment to mostly realism. That was one of the reasons that I really enjoyed the Bourne franchise, was that they did a lot of their stunts and focus to keep it mostly realistic until about the third movie. Then it started to turn into a superhero action flick. John Wick 1 did a very good job of staying within, making this guy seem like a scary, formidable foe that was very believable. That if you had taken the time, you could probably eventually learn the skills that he did and potentially survive in a lot the manner that, like one of the hardest fights in that movie for me to watch is when he's struggling for his life after getting his surgery done and Perkins comes in to try to kill him. And I'm like, how is he still doing this? Well, he's a biological dude and she's a chick, so it's not really gonna work out in her favor even when he's got a bullet wound in his fucking side. But she came pretty damn close, and that was scary. It was so good at making it feel like John Wick could actually be killed. The tension was there. He felt human. The second movie came along, and we started to turn up the action heroes, super serum, magical spider bites, not like, to the degree that he's putting on tights and joining the Justice League, but we were pretty much on that track to head there. We had basically full-on 1000% reinforced Kevlar jackets, so he could just literally hold up his sleeve to deflect bullets. Never ran out of ammo. Just all the action movie tropes that the first movie did every effort to avoid.
He just went and found the clips they used in the John Woo films. It's okay.
Right. I just was disappointed because, and then of course I watched the third one on the ship, and I guess there's a fourth one, and it's like, all right, so what started as a really cool, really awesome, crazy action movie, like realistic action star dealing with Russian gangsters, turns into, basically John Wayne the movie, I guess. I don't know. But, yeah, we'll catch up on some comments here. Indy is like, it belongs in a museum, and then Liam Neeson calls them like, I've got a very special set of skills. I will find you, and I will throw my dentures at you, and then beat you up with my walker. These old-ass sequels need to get a respectful burial and go away already. They're being stupid. Yeah, I have to agree. And nothing, again, but I'm just one opinionated asshole. What about you, John? What do you think of John Wick, John?
Dude, honestly, it's more the fact that, like, everything keeps scaling. Like, I felt like episode 1 was very much an introduction to an underbelly that we hadn't been introduced to, and episode 2 was, like, cleaning up after yourself. But then episode 3 and 4 were, like, cleaning up for yourself with everybody. And at this point, he's either like destroyed everything that the table stood for, because he literally was like, no, you can't tell me what to do, and they were like, yes, we can, and so he killed all of them. And it's like, yeah, that's how a game is supposed to end. And now episode 5 is like, but it didn't end. And
right.
It's like, are we gonna get a sequel to a story that, like, is it gonna be him getting out again? Because if it is, I don't care. Like, I'm not that interested in him getting out of the business he just got back in, because he hasn't re-romanced.
That he just got out, that he got out of earlier, that he got back in, but then got out, but then it's the last hurrah. Oh yeah, this is where things get really good.
He's like, it's not like it's his friends saying, hey bro, let's go out for drinks. No, it's his enemies saying, hey, do what we say or we'll kill you. And he's like, I'll just kill you. And they're like, you can't do that. And then he did. All of them.
Damn, man, you just saved me a whole bunch of viewing.
So, like, I don't know. It's just like, you can send in what so-and-so's youngest nephew from 4 generations later is now mad at John Wick. And it's like, I guess he's killing toddlers now. It's the only way to make sure the table doesn't regrow. And I guess, I mean, I might want to watch that. But
Really?
You really
You want to
gotta
watch him
sell
kill
me on
children?
this. Yeah, I've gotten more pro Anakin as I've become a father.
That was perfect, dude.
That was like the most psychotic, non-psychotic thing you could have said. I love it.
Oh, dude, 11 out of 10.
Yeah.
That was just perfect.
That joke just landed hard. Yeah. I saw the new Super Mario Bros. Writes Dahlia Lightwood movie sequel, and actually it wasn't bad. I can see them making a third movie, but once movies get past 3, the quality tends to suffer and the plot or ideas run thin. Well, Mario at least has the benefit of being such a big universe that it could continue that story in any kind of way.
Yeah,
This-
and the new and the new movie also opened up the rest of the Nintendo verse.
Yeah,
if you
like
will.
I said, you
So.
can get Smash Brothers out of it, and I
Yeah.
think that's pretty amazing. But also at
Super
the same
Smash
time,
Brothers, the movie!
The problem with John Wick 5 is the opposite problem with like a Super Mario 3, because John Wick 5 is written by a guy who likes writing the movies and is acted by an actor who likes acting in the movies, whereas like most of the third movies in a sequel series, almost always everybody's like, yeah, but I would much rather do like a Shakespeare, or I'd much rather do like, I don't know, rom-com. Like they always want to bail, but they're already set on making the third. And so in the case of John Wick 5, it's the opposite issue where it's like, no, they want to keep going. They just legitimately have no idea where they're going. And then in the case of Super Mario 3, it's like, just don't lose heart. As long as you keep enjoying what you're making, you have so many different Nintendo games and Nintendo universes to leech off of that you can continue to write really good stories if you don't lose heart. But if you get bored of making Nintendo, your writing's going to suffer. But in the case of John Wick 5, it's like if you keep writing John Wick, he's not the believable superhero that you made him out to be. Now he's just another DC Marvel character.
Yeah.
And honestly, to me, it's the same issue that I think Stranger Things has. There is zero middle. Like from episode 1 in Stranger Things, from episode 1 in John Wick, it starts with fire burning action. And that fire burning action is fun, but like there's still 16 hours in a day where you can't have a campfire. Where fire is not as fun to look at because it's too bright and the sun's up, so you got to go do other things rather than just stare at the firing burns. And I think that like John Wick 5 could solve all of its issues if we had a really mid-level John Wick. Not mid in terms of writing, but mid in terms of action. Like, oh yeah, he just killed a few normal bad guys. Oh yeah, he obviously knows how to take out all of his opponents because watch him do this heist thing where he immediately gets the job done without anything and nobody ever saw him coming because that's what the boogeyman can do. And that's the whole movie. Just no major tension. John Wick's being John Wick. And now suddenly I'm like, all right, let's go see John Wick 6. Now I want the tension back. But if there's no break, there's no break. And we're all constantly like, I don't know if I need more action.
I'm going to be honest with you. You know what I would do in John Wick 5? Because I'm this guy. I would kill the main character. I would end it with him getting shot by a street tough randomly by accident.
All right, I was about to move on from that article, and we're gonna blank out for a quick second because now I have to bring it back up. Where was it?
So I would go so far as to say that would be like you do a season or an episode of him training somebody, and it's like, dude, nobody's ever gonna replace John Wick, and then see like semi.
Yeah. So John Wick appears to die at the end of John Wick Chapter 4 after once again defeating the bad guys. We even get to see John Wick's gravestone with Winston and the Bowery King saying their farewells. But crucially, we only see John Wick collapse from his injuries and appear to die. So he's already been killed off at the end of John Wick 4.
No, but like this is like a no. Like dude's dead kind of thing. Like straight up. No possible way that they can bring him back again.
They'll
But
find
that
a way,
would also
Corione.
make for a very fun number 5 in terms of like mid-tension. Somebody's constantly trying to find John Wick.
Watch it turn out to be a bait and switch for another Frankenstein movie.
Ha! Yo, man, they do that, I'd be in.
Yeah.
I know what I just said was a better idea. Damn it. I hate when that happens.
Yeah, that would actually be more fun, honestly.
You know, or like straight up, you know, after appearing to collapse from exhaustion and whatnot, a few moments later he gets up, right? Like the movie, like, you know, then continues on where he gets up and goes computer end program, and we get a Star Trek sequel.
That works for me too. Dahlia Lightwood says
Dude,
the Mario movies
takes
are
off the machine. He's still in the Matrix.
Yeah, there you go.
Love it. Yeah, the Mario movies are fun and wholesome, writes Dahlia Lightwood, and engaging. I like the second one better, actually. They condense the plot. It's got a lot less filler and better flow. The animation is amazing and colorful. It's nice to see something with bright, beautiful colors, especially after stupid Disney and their awful gray-dark color grading they put over everything. Too dark color grading automatically creates a somber atmosphere. It causes boredom and it cheapens the look of movies and shows. The new Moana live action looks so dark, gloomy, and depressing. Yeah, I would like to continue to see them get away from the dark grading, because that was one of the few good things that Starfleet Academy had going for it. It wasn't all dark and gloomy.
No.
But, yeah. All right, magical abilities removed from upcoming Assassin's Creed Hex, leaks suggests.
Hexe.
Hexe?
Hexe.
Hexy.
Yeah,
Heexy.
close enough for American.
Heeks.
There you go.
Yeah. Now let me think of a way to pronounce that doesn't sound like any of those letters. Upcoming Assassin's Creed Blue.
So, for the record, Hexe is the German word for witch.
I thought it was French, hence why I went blue. My bad.
All good.
I also didn't know that that's what the word was meaning, so now I see why it was a little more personal. Fresh leaks point to a major change for the upcoming witchcraft-themed Assassin's Creed Hexe. And expectations for Hexe remake. No, it's not a remake, sorry. And expectations of the Assassin's Creed 1 remake.
Creed 1
Let's say this article 30 times fast. With Assassin's Creed Black Flag resetting to fully received to Ubisoft, attention has turned to what's going on elsewhere with the franchise. Over the weekend, reliable Assassin's Creed insider Jonathan detailed further behind-the-scenes changes for Hexe, following confirmation of another top developer leaving the project. As reported yesterday, Hexe's game director Benoit Richer, I'm guessing that's a French name, recently departed the game, and for reasons unknown, or it would be pronounced Benoit, for reasons unknown, his loss comes swiftly after the exit of Clint Hawking, Hexe's creative director, following a major internal reshuffle at the top of the franchise that saw Ubisoft veteran Jean Guzden ascend to become Assassin's Creed head of content. Holy shit, there's like a Game of Thrones freaking change of command in this development.
Yeah, there was like a red wedding or something there.
Oh, man. Now, in a post on social media, Jonathan has claimed that Hexe has gone through changes since Guzden's promotion, including a decision of him to get rid of everything that was magical in Hexe. Said Jonathan, for example, we were supposed to control a cat. Well, ultimately, that's been canceled. Corione, your thoughts?
Honestly, then why call it Hexe?
Really?
Why? Like, look, I am usually... So here's the dynamic I tend to go with here, okay? And I'm just going to kind of put it here. Do I like bad representations of witches? Of course not. Do I like magic that feels close to real stuff? Sure. But, you know, and I also understand that some things have to be Hollywooded up a little bit for the mass audiences, right? And I get that and I accept that. Like, for example, if I was to control a cat in this game to be able to see where somebody, like to scout, say, with a cat or something like that, that's kind of dope.
Yeah.
Right?
Is that something you can do?
Oh, you know,
no
kinda
comment.
like the eagle.
Oh!
like every Assassin's Creed has the eagle. Honestly, I feel like the cat part was gonna be like a difference from the eagle, and now they're just like, come on, guys, like let's pull that part back and go back to the idea. Like, I don't know if you played Assassin's Creed Valhalla, there were a ton of things that discussed like different types of ancient magic.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it left it completely open to interpretation. Was he just tripping on drugs, or did he actually go to Asgard? Did he actually see Odin, or was that just drugs? And it left it there. Like, you can't tell for sure, but the missions obviously feel like you could go either way. Like, you could say you did drugs and then you went to Asgard, or you could say you did drugs and imagined you went to Asgard. But either way, you played the character in Asgard.
That's
and
it.
I think that could be what this guy's saying is it's like, what if they full on fantasy magicked the whole game? And so this guy's coming in and he's like, all right, we're getting rid of everything magic because it was literally an entire skill tree about learning how to do fireballs and electricity. That
See, I don't think that was.
Assassin's Creed.
See, I don't think it was that. I think it was more like more shadowy stuff, more on the darker side of playing with the magic, so that it would feel within the realm of possibility, you know, in a fantastic world, but not overblow it into Lord of the Rings.
But see, that's the thing is when you
Lord of the Rings
he,
wasn't
like,
that
came
magical.
in and said he got rid of all the magical. He could have been talking about the Lord of the Rings magic, and he could be like, let's go back to Valhalla's magic. Where like it does feel like there's an element of magic. There are definitely witches in the world, but you're not a witch. Your character is a barbarian. Your character interacts with the witches and gets what the witches gives him, which like this one, obviously it's called Hexa, so it's like leaning more into an assassin coven that is related to witches.
Yeah.
And in that essence, it's like, what magical things did they get rid of? And I bet you it's more of the Lord of the Rings magic. Like, it condensed it back down to, you're not the magician, you're just the guy working with the magicians.
See, I don't know. I would be annoyed if that was the case, because I would. Okay, look, my dream on how this Assassin's Creed game would go, okay, is it goes this way. The Templar, it's, you know, pre-Victorian Germany. The Inquisition is running freaking rampant, which is controlled by the Templars. And this coven has brought in and initiated an assassin and has started teaching them the skills that this person is going to need to survive in this world. And instead of going, you know what, I'm going to use these skills to hide in plain sight and to disappear into the shadows when I need to, he goes, nah, fuck that. I'm going out and I'm going to go kill a bunch of Inquisitors. Right. And I'm going to scare the hell out of them. And it's going to feel vaguely like Dishonored in that regard. And that I'd be like, if the magic was like at almost like a little toned down from that level, that would be perfect.
And that's what I'm saying is I think it's closer to that now. Like, I feel like one of the biggest issues that Assassin's Creed has is they're like, we're trying to make a historically accurate assassin. But then they're also like some of the games just go full on into the magic system. They're like, there is legitimately like, you can do slowdowns and you can do poison arrows and you can do all of these things that, like, yeah, in most RPGs make sense, but they don't make sense for your assassin to be doing those things. And I think that, like, especially based on what the article is saying, is like this new guy came in and got rid of things. Like, what if they were making Disney Assassin's Creed? What if they were making fantasy Assassin's Creed?
We don't really.
And he's like, get rid of all the magical, and everybody's like, no, that's what we liked. And he's like, trust me, when I say get rid of the magical, what I mean more is there are scrying mirrors. There are ways to make yourself actually invisible to the naked eye. But at the same time, it's so much closer to Assassin's Creed than it is turning yourself completely invisible as Invisible Girl in Marvel and DC. And like there's more of like a meter to it. Like you can only be invisible if you're standing in the shadows, but if you step out of the shadows, you're obvious again. And it's like, oh, the witch part of it is like, yeah, here's how you conceal yourself in shadows.
Yeah.
Because this is how the witches do it. But at the same time, I think the more fun portion of Assassin's Creed is like they're trying to say that there was a secret society fighting another secret society that was trying to control the world. And so when you bring in the witches versus Templars, witches versus the Inquisition, it's like you have the chance to make the witches seem closer to the assassins than the Templars. And
Yeah.
if you do that, you make witches look really good, even if you don't give them actual magical abilities, or if you don't elaborate that they're able to see into different things, but you just go, look at what the witches were actually doing in this time period. They were very much individual groups of people that just didn't believe what the Templars believed, and the Templars tried to kill them for that.
Right.
As is the story of Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, like I get where you're going with it too, right? Like I think getting rid of absolutely all supernatural elements is not the way to go.
And I don't think that's what's happening.
Okay, like based on the way I was reading the article, that's what it looked like.
And I think that's possible, but
it's an insider leaking information. That's why I'm like, let's not.
That's also subject to
gun on
change.
that.
Yeah, and like I said, I think there was a very clever balance point you could reach.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I think having somebody, like I really hope they have somebody on staff like they have done for other Assassin's Creed games.
Yeah.
That is very aware of the mythology and lore in that environment in that time and can provide solid understandings to people. That to me would be wonderful.
Right.
And I hope they do that, right?
That to me is the biggest hope. And that's kind of what I got based off like what he's saying. Like get rid of magical more feels like he's talking about a skill tree than he is talking about what the characters are talking about, what's going on in the world. What are the Templars are gonna say there's witches and the witches are flying on brooms, but that doesn't necessarily mean your character has to fly on a broom.
Well, I'd even go so far as to say, like, you know, the flying on the broom part is part of the, like, no, they weren't actually, but this is the nonsense they believed. And that's why these people could get away with moving through the shadows, because everyone was looking in the wrong place.
Drake and Blaze
Exactly.
Gaming finally blasts in the chat. I gotta rewrite the Ace of Spades for him so I can just have that play every time. He wants that Drake and Blaze. He wants that Drake and Blaze. Says I made it, and says hello to Dahlia Lightwood, and then chuckling at the last comment. Well, what was so funny that Dahlia said? So they're removing the magical power from a character called Witch. Lol, that's like making a Jedi with no force powers. Which they did. His name was played by Donnie Yen. But that worked for Rogue One. That would not work for a video game.
Now, that being said, I'm going to put this out there, guys. When it comes out, I don't know what it's going to come out on. I think PS5. Probably.
Usually everything.
Yeah, Assassin's Creed's been pretty cross-console. I think they only did like...
say it's most likely going to start on Xbox because they've already got a
Okay.
special deal
They do
with Game
timed
Pass.
exclusives. Yeah, they don't...
Well, if you guys get a copy of the game, I would like to sit second chair to whoever's playing and talk about the historical stuff while we're assassinating.
I'm down for that. I haven't played a single Assassin's Creed game, but that one I will definitely show up for. Next
I played
idea.
every Assassin's Creed game, and I just re-downloaded Black Flag on the PC because I really wanted to see if it was better.
Cool. You're riding in the back seat. I'll be in the driver's seat. Corion gets to ride shotgun and complain about it the whole time while you try to give directions from the rear.
Yeah, I'll beat the game and tell you how to get all the cool stuff.
Parker, you're missing the thing. I don't care. Next idea. Let's make Harry Potter a muggle, and we'll make Laura Croft not sexy, and we'll make James Bond clumsy and dumb. In regards
So
to
they did the Laura Croft
They
one.
did make Laura Croft not sexy, and it went exactly as horrible as you'd imagine. Let's see. There was the TV show. I'll give credit where due. Sophie Turner at least showed up to try to bring some of the sexy back, but at the same time, there's only so much sexy we can expect from Sophie Turner. Let's be real here. she's not ugly per se. She's just not exactly got the curvy,
unconventionally beautiful.
It's also just kind of lacking in the Laura Croft necessity department. Let's see. New Harry Potter show is supposedly getting slammed by audiences. That's what I've heard. And then Dahlia Lightwood says, I want lesbian space witches. Oh, so you're the one who's been watching The Acolyte again and boosting its numbers.
God damn it, it's you, Dahlia.
You wanted your damn lesbian space witches. There they are. No, the reason why Acolyte's getting a boost is because some shill over at Disney who's still holding out for Kennedy has set it to automatically follow. Actually, I think it stopped this week. In the weeks prior, it was the show that kept popping up at the end of every single Maul episode. And I'm like, no, I do not want to go back and watch The Crapolite after watching this amazing animated brilliance. Which Maul still, it's got some moments of not greatness, but overall, we'll complain about that here very, very shortly. Getting through the rest of the comments. I'm more of a sci-fi fan than a fantasy fan, but I do like magic, witches, curses, demons, ghosts, possession, all the stuff.
Yeah.
Lists all the things of fantasy. That's why I love Star Wars, though, is because it's that proper marriage between science fiction, advanced technology, and, fantasy, magical superpowers, Jedis, and all that stuff. And it does it in a very cool universe. That's why one of the reasons we are passionate about Star Wars is because we love Star Wars. Because one day we'd love to be in the Star Wars. So that's why we want that universe to be as
I would even go on a journey to go be a part of Star Wars, a Star Wars trek, if you will.
Exactly. Drake and Blaze says, give me sexy stuff in all movies and games, no more propaganda. I agree. Be fruitful and multiply. It is our base directive. Let's see. The lesbian space witches were one of the few good things about The Acolyte. I mean...
Okay, so does it specifically have to be space witches? Because if not, I'm thinking my coven could really benefit from a reality show then.
Yeah. Are you saying you want to start a new show called Live Action Acolyte?
No, live action lesbian witches? Yes.
Well, okay, that's, yeah, I subscribe to Corione's OnlyFans. I liked Jackie Long too, but they bumped her off too soon and horribly too. Kind of skipped The Crapolite. Yeah, no, you do not want to waste any time with only, like I said, the reason people it's following up, people are like, well, let me give this crappy show another chance because Maul's so good. No, don't watch The Acolyte. Bad.
It's just wrong on every directive.
Acolyte. There's open flames in space.
Yeah. Dolly Lightwood says, yeah, Acolyte was not my favorite Star Wars show ever. I liked Jackie Lawn and the lesbian space witches, and the fight scenes were decent. Yeah. I agree. And you know what? We're going to save the politics for after Star Wars. Let's get into our Star Wars... Oh, that doesn't belong there. Maul discussion. So, John, since you only did half the homework, you can start by telling us what the hell happened in Maul this week.
Dude, some of the most beautiful cartoon lightsaber fights this year. I mean, I don't know if you guys remember, Visions was really good. And pretty much every time they bring Obi-Wan back in any of the Clone Wars, just phenomenal. So I have to say this year, because like a lot of the cartoons on Disney Star Wars have just been doing banger lightsaber battle after banger lightsaber battle. But this one...
Nothing quite as epic, though. Let's be real here.
True.
One of the most epic lightsaber battles in animated, and really in all of Star Wars history, is still...
The Ninth Jedi was pretty epic, and the Samurai Jedi from Visions was my favorite to date.
Savage and Maul versus Sidious is still one of the most epic battles in all of Star Warsdom that most people still have not experienced yet.
Dude,
and the scary thing is, the way Sidious is fighting that is it's not a fight, it's a joke.
It is.
Yeah.
And
no, it's a bullying session. It's literally like, oh crap, our bully is here. And he was.
Yeah.
Like,
And Maul and Savage fight extremely well in that whole like.
Oh,
that
they were
whole
bringing their
fight.
A game.
And yet Sidious just plows through them like they're nothing.
Well, and dude,
I think
Maul,
Sidious was drawing
Shadow
from
Lord did
Skywalker
probably
much
one of
earlier.
the greatest like callbacks to that fight in episode 2.
Yeah.
Where, like, it's showing the dark side. But I don't know. I didn't think this was gonna happen, but honestly, I'm pretty impressed that it is working if this is where they're going. But like, it really feels like Maul is awakening to the Jedi. Like in these
Like
last
they
few
better not,
episodes.
right?
Oh, he better. Because I think one of the things that a lot of people think about the Jedi is like, well, yeah, they took Anakin and he became a teenager with Force powers, and obviously he became a bad guy. But like, really, what the Jedi are, if you think about them as space monks, is a group of people that have vowed to defend the weak, and they actually uphold their honor. So like, when it comes to like what is Darth Maul's big beef with the world right now, it's that everybody who he's ever helped abandoned him the first chance they could. And like, his biggest thing is honor. Why is he going for revenge against all of these people? Because they dishonored him. And so he's trying to selfishly regain his honor. But at like, when one of his teammates that's also from his planet gets shot, we see him have a like come to Jesus moment where he's like, oh no, my team.
Yeah.
Whereas like normally, and in every other episode of Darth Maul, and every other episode that shows Darth Maul, he's like, there is no such thing as my team. There are my followers, and there's me, and I'm in charge, and you're either following me or I'll kill you.
You know what it reminds me of?
He had a heart for a second.
You know what he normally reminds me of? You remember the first season of Invincible, right after the funeral for the Guardians of the Globe? And he's like, oh, like I it's like, whatever. I want to go for like German food or whatever. And his wife is like, you just buried your friends. And he goes, coworkers, right? That's Maul. That is full Maul.
That's
right?
pretty much it. Yeah. All right, gotta catch up on the comments again, because they're all Star Wars related. I watched The Acolyte, says Dahlia Lightwood. In that dojo scene, I wasn't sure if I should order sushi or if I should order chow mein. It looked like a mashup of Asian decor. Drake and Blaze says, made me hungry too when I watched that clip.
Yeah. Oh.
Yes, Sauvage Opress needs to have a live action show. He was hot. Well, I mean, there was a time Clancy Brown could have done that. Dude took blaster bolts and walked away fine. I'm a workout till I look like him, says Drake and Blaze Gaming. Nice.
Actually, you know who I'd like to see play Savage? Terry Crews.
Dude, it's either Terry Crews or Reacher.
Yeah. Either way.
Alan Rickson. Right? Oh, man. And he'd do it, too. And he would probably get Clancy Brown's endorsement on it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, because he's got that demeanor. He even kind of sounds and almost kind of looks like Clancy a little bit, which, you might not think is important. We're putting him on live action. I'm like, well, having the live actor sound similar to the voice actor is actually important because you need to believe that they grew up. Kind of the way that Rosario Dawson feels like a more grown-up Ahsoka, doesn't just look the part, but also, makes it a point to still sound
and that's
like
actually
Ahsoka.
where I think Maul is going towards. Because you know how we got Ahsoka kind of dropping out of the Jedi way and kind of finding her own path? That's kind of where I see Maul going. Well, he's not going to go full Jedi, but he's not going to be Sith either. He's going to be like, you know what? Screw this conflict. I'm taking care of mine, and everybody else can just bugger off.
Well, dude, I think that's the craziest part about Star Wars, and I've just been thinking about this while watching Maul more this year, is that, like, somehow Star Wars is very clearly, like, the Catholics versus everybody in the Inquisition. But if you really think about it, even the Catholics aren't the Catholics in that sense. Like, they segment off. There's the Orthodox Church. Like, the amount of segmentation from the Jedi Order that should have happened and should have occurred in this galactic universe, it hasn't been presented. But, like, the way you're talking about Ahsoka is she's very much like the light gray side, and now Darth Maul is like the dark gray side.
Yeah.
And it's like now we can see all of these levels of being committed to the Force in terms of like coming at it from Maul, being selfish, self-aggrandizing, just trying to protect his family, but mostly himself, to like Ahsoka, who was like, no, this is the Jedi way. I was bred to breathe honor. I was bred to only care about everybody else. Damned if I do, damned if I don't. And like, now they're both absent. Like, there is no church to go home to. There is like, Maul can't go back and hang out with Sidious and recharge on the dark side. Ahsoka can't go back to Yoda and hang out with Yoda and recharge on the light side. So if you can't go home, what do? You build a new home. What does that look like? That's what we've been asking for the last 90 years that Star Wars has existed.
Yeah.
No, I honestly think that this, if that's where they take it, which I think they're going to, I think it's the ideal position for Maul to be in at the end of the series.
Yeah. So my biggest gripes with this show are as follows. Okay, Dave Filoni isn't the hack or bad writer that certain blob channels try to make him out to be. We don't think that Filoni is terrible here, not because, hey, give us special passes and come do interviews with us, which, would be fun and cool, don't get me wrong.
Are you saying we don't think Dave Filoni is felonious?
No, I don't. I mean, he's very much a Star Wars fan, for his own Star Wars universe. And as annoying as that can be, well, so was George. And ultimately, here are what the annoyances of the Filoni Star Wars universe amount to. A sarcastic robot. Sometimes two. Okay, we have this now. This series, we have both Spybot, which is like, just an evil version of Chopper, and then we have Two Boots, which is like this semi-conflicted, semi-programmed, goody two-shoes for protocol, but then is...
Two Boots is R2-D2 and C-3PO, and the Spybot is R2-D2 and Darth Maul.
Okay.
I mean, that's hard to argue against, really.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, this is where some of the blobbity blob channels and perspectives are correct. Okay? This is where Filoni didn't really... Where have we seen this before? Oh, a team of ragtag people struggling in the galaxy, avoiding the Empire. It's kind of just Rebels retooled.
Bro, I'm gonna be honest, getting mad at Filoni for his, tropes is kind of like getting mad at Picasso for not drawing normal faces.
A lot of people did get mad at Picasso for not drawing normal faces.
Yeah, and they're wrong. Because, the artist is the artist. The fact that Disney can only find one Filoni, but Filoni seems to be the only guy who knows how to do Star Wars. It's the same as getting mad at George Lucas for not writing the Star Wars you imagine. And then also loving the KOTOR Star Wars while you can love George Lucas's Star Wars and you can love all these other Star Wars. He's an artist who's been working at maintaining a fictional universe. And so he had to rely on tropes to make sure that he didn't ruin the product. The Acolyte, Obi-Wan Kenobi, see a plethora of other examples.
I'd actually like to
mad at him for being tropey, or we can say thank you for having structure in all of your videos.
And I want to point this out, and I think this is kind of an important thing to realize, especially when it comes to Filoni versus Lucas, because those are the real two titans at this point in time. Lucas wrote his characters and stuck with them and kept working on them and having them develop. Filoni is doing the same thing. And what I actually kind of like is that he's doing his best to avoid doing deep character arcs and growth for Lucas's characters. And I think this is intentional because he doesn't want to ruin them. So he's doing what he can with his own characters and leaving the characters that people have treasured memories with largely alone to prevent inadvertently contaminating them with whatever could change them around. I think that's a valid argument to make in favor of what Filoni's doing.
And to say that he doesn't know how to do an arc is felonious.
I never said that.
No, I know.
No.
I'm just saying more to leech onto what Coriona's saying. Darth Maul has arced so many times, and also to call Darth Maul one of George Lucas's characters is also wrong. Like, George Lucas killed him off in 15 minutes of screen time, and Dave Filoni brought him back to life in all of these ways that completely make sense with the world. Like,
Filoni
why
basically
is it that
vindicated the
Darth
Maul
Maul
fanboys.
Yeah.
not only vindicated, but then gave them a whole list of
It gave them a
homework
very
to work
badass character that, you know, like I said, part of the
Dude, his
reason,
legs
and here's
are force connected to him, and they made it make sense.
right.
Yeah.
And then here's why the fight scene with Savage and Maul versus, you know, Sidious slaps so hard. The reason why is because the buildup to all of that is what really just sells that moment and gives us, like, it's not a cheap moment. It's not a cheap buildup of, oh, hey, Darth Maul survived, and then here's this badass fight, the end. No, there is episodes, there are seasons that take time to pull Maul out of the ashes, to actually build him into another character, and then have him, you know, operate with a second Darth Maul, his brother, Savage Opress, and then they build their own little empire, and as they get ready to, you know, combine forces with Sidious, he betrays them, and of course, you know, we know how the rest goes down from there, but it's the fact that he was able to take so much from such a nothing character that does put emphasis on his ability to tell stories. I don't deny that. I just am simply pointing out the fact that we've recycled the name Rook once before, and we've also done the whole sarcastic bot trope before, and we're doing it again. It's basically just Maul's version of Chopper. It's what Spybot is.
No, but here's the best part. The Spybot isn't Chopper. The Spybot is
Chopper's
exposition spying. It's literally the eyes into what the other side is doing, and that's why Maul knows in advance. But he's almost never actually a core component, except for being literally the eagle eyes, or the eagle from Assassin's Creed. Like, yeah, he has some quips, okay, but like his role is not Chopper's role, where Chopper was R2-D2, but more
no. Chopper
family.
was a war crime robot inside an astromech body.
Yeah, Canadian.
Exactly.
Canadian R2-D2.
Yes.
And that's
100%.
That's now the backstory I need to see for Chopper. That he's basically a Clone Wars era a strategy AI shoved into an astromech because he was going to be discontinued because he had gotten so psychotic.
That's it.
That would be hilarious. This tactical AI is out of control. It's suggesting we kill the children.
Not just kill the children, but like,
and the women, and the men too. Just saying we kill them all. All right, it's time to delete. What? Fuck you! I'm going to the astromech body.
Well, if I remember right, the backstory was it was a Clone Wars astromech droid that crashed on Syndulla's planet. I think just when she was repairing it, she accidentally flipped the war crime switch.
I know. That freaking robot kills people, man. Like, without even
it
thinking.
Doesn't just kill people. Like, it finds hilarious ways to kill people and then laugh about it.
Right. Chopper is insane. Chopper's insane. That's all there is to that.
Chopper doesn't say anything, and Chopper doesn't regularly camera hop and show off his camera skills. Instead, that was saved for Spybot. Like,
yeah,
you can say that it is just another robot, but that's kind of like saying there is a support character in this show.
Nice Chopper bobblehead. All right, before we get to For All Mankind and the, further high intelligence part of this discussion, It's time to get stupefied. Warning! You are entering a realm where intelligence comes to die and logic and reason commit suicide on a daily basis. Where everything that makes sense suddenly doesn't, and the stuff that doesn't make sense is being forced to make sense. Everything that is wrong is right. Everything that is also wrong is still wrong. You heard me. Fuck you. You've entered the stupid sphere. If you have been living under a rock, then you might have missed the fact that somebody tried to assassinate Trump again. Or did they? For his first ever appearance as president to the White House Correspondents' Dinner, Donald Trump showed up to the Hilton Hotel, I guess, in Washington, D.C., where there was no security, and some crazy person, through the magic of AI or whatever, was able to get through and penetrate the defenses, and it was a whole scary thing that was so scary, they resumed the program right after all the chaos of the assassination had finished. Look, guys, if you believe this is true.
I don't know if you guys saw the video about how the guy penetrated the defenses, but I've seen a lot of drunk people pull that exact move.
I really appreciate how they quickly got President Vance out of danger, or excuse me, Vice President Vance out of danger before fumbling creepy Uncle President.
Did you see that they got RFK Jr. out and his wife was like just kind of following behind?
You guys notice that the president is almost twice the age of JD Vance? It's almost like obviously his knees were able to jump still.
Oh no, the Secret Service prioritized Vance. Like if something was going to happen, the vice president, which if this was the Bush era, well, that makes sense. Cheney was our real president. But now they do it so obviously. Like, anyway, that's not
also,
really
you
the
know
point
what
of
terrified
this.
me? Like what actually horrified me more than anything else? You know who the one person that prioritized the safety of his wife was? Stephen freaking Miller.
No, he didn't.
Yeah, he did. He was holding over his wife. Yeah.
No, there's a lot of people that have been giving.
He was behind his wife. He held her up like a human meat shield.
Oh, you figure that was what was going on? It looked like he was protecting her.
Was got his hand on his boob and was like trying to just kind of save me, I'm important. Not you, though. Dahlia Lightwood says, I've been avoiding politics all day. It's literally everywhere. That's right. And the only reason I wanted to bring this up was nothing to do with what I just said. Actually, it's the interview that happened right after the fact. Yes, I hate to say that he's president, as President Trump was doing a follow-up interview on another assassination attempt, the reporter was reading off mentions of the dossier about wanting to stop the pedophiles and wanting to stop all of this, and Trump immediately interrupted with, I'm not a pedophile. Oh, Mr. President.
No, it wasn't, I'm not a pedophile. No, he didn't say I'm not a pedophile. He said I'm not a rapist. Let's be clear on the wording he used.
You're right. Visibly annoyed, he replied, well, I was waiting for you to read that because I knew you would, because you're horrible people. Yeah, I did write. Yeah, he did write that. I'm not a rapist. I didn't rape anybody. O'Donnell comes up. Oh, did you think he was referring to you? And that right there is the whole point of bringing it to the attention, because you will know them by the fruits they bear. You will know them by the Freudian slips that they make, in that there was no insinuation one way or the other that the manifesto had to do with Trump in particular. It's that the reporter, doing her due diligence, read it in a way that any smart, articulated non-rapist would have just gone, and? But instead, he had to jump out!
Like, he could have literally responded with, yeah, what are you going to do? Stupid people or crazy people are going to be crazy, right?
Dude, he could have been like, yeah, I've been hearing that conspiracy too.
Yeah!
He doth protest too much.
And Dahlia Lightwood says, I miss the days when politics and entertainment were two different things, not the bizarre Twilight Zone 1984 mashup we're living now. And that's why I made this part of Stupid Sphere.
All I can say is this. If you didn't want a trashy reality show for a government, you shouldn't have elected a trashy reality show host.
Oh, that too. Our government's so out of control and corrupt and criminal. Oh, well, we elected a felon. Who would have thought? Oh, right. Whole bunch of other people that voted for the other bitch. Although that's a whole other mess of problems there that was set in motion. It wouldn't have mattered. Like, it was basically going to go to the established candidate that was ready to go. It wasn't.
The crazy thing is it actually would have mattered because most people are already desensitized to their government. But because their guy won this time, they're like, yeah, no, the government can't be trusted, but our guy can.
Right, yeah,
but if
except
it was
that he
the
can't.
other lady, it would have been like everybody saying,
we are literally
can't be trusted.
Yeah. Well, it's like I like to say, campaign 1776 campaign in the streets, 1984 government in the sheets. When you elect these clowns, you get the clowns that run everything, and, well, boy, doesn't the 5th season of For All Mankind just oddly line up with this, like,
oh,
lock
man.
I don't know.
step.
For that reason, I'm going to go. I love you guys.
Good night, John. You've been great.
Good
night. So
Dude.
yes, For All Mankind. Go ahead.
So I'm going to say this now. If you haven't read Kim Stanley Robinson's Red Mars trilogy, you need to read this book. It is basically this is a homage to Red Mars. Really worth it. Especially because of the space elevator.
Well, we might have to pick that up for our books starting in the summer when we do a summer of reading. Well, I'm doing a summer of reading. You and John will be dismissed for lazy summer if you need it. Otherwise, show up all the time. I know you boys are working super hard, and as much as I want to take a lazy summer, my lazy summer will be devoted to the channel.
Well, I'm going when Subnautica 2 comes to a reasonable place where it's not glitching all the time, I will be diving on stream.
I love it. That'll be fun. Summer's going to be a bit more relaxed than normal, I think, but we'll see.
Yeah, and I'm going to be renaming all the fish along the way. It'll be that's a whatever fish. Oh, that's a nope fish. Oh, that's a colossal nope fish. Okay.
Wow, it sounds like are you sure you're just playing, are you sure you're not playing No Man's Sky?
Basically.
AKA For All Mankind, the video game?
Yeah, basically.
Because it has a Subnautica element. Yes, I'm scrolling down to the synopsis. I'm scrolling. Found season 5. There's episode 5. All right, in 2003, Irina, the former Roscosmos director, was sent to a labor camp where she was routinely tortured in order to force a confession. After a police officer knocks out her tooth, Irina uses it to relay Morse code through a pipe in her cell where she learns his identity and enemies. She blackmails him with this information and is set free. In 2012, the data leak continues to wreak havoc on Mars. Palmer, the top peacekeeper, has deduced Lily was behind it and threatens Miles with prison if they do not cooperate. Irina is on the delegation from Kurgan, which arrives on Mars and meets with Helios. At the meeting, Dev says he knows the culprit. At work the next day, Alex is called into Dev's office where he is berated for his actions. Alex laments Dev's lack of respect for his grandfather's vision and quits the job. Celia gets access to EVA logs and finds Fred in the records. Lenoid tries to talk with protesters, but is rebuffed, causing him to declare a base-wide curfew to shut them down. It turns out Fred was the disguised attacker who injured Celia, and he was also involved in intimidating to men who died during the struggle. The peacekeepers attempt to break up a protest violating curfew, and a fight ensues. Outnumbered, they begin shooting people in retreat. The protesters breach the control barrier, and of course, that is the amazing cliffhanger that we are left with.
Mm-hmm. So, the thing that I've really liked that they've shown about the colony on Mars really boils down to taking humans off Earth doesn't change the inherent problems humans have. It just changes the environment they have them in. And I feel like that is the best lesson to take away from this so far. I love what they're doing with the visuals. I love what they're doing with the plot. I think this definitely shows that, you know, the difference between a colony and a nation is whether you're willing to fight for it either over a negotiating table, like what Canada did, or, you know, straight up armed rebellion, like what the Americans did. You know, what matters is you're willing to fight to be able to say, no, we want to stand on our own. And that is clearly what comes across here. And the fact that people resist that just shows you how all colonies eventually wind up working, in that either you negotiate yourself an independent setup or you have to fight your way to one. Yeah.
And it's definitely what was really unique about this show. It does, I would say, dissipate after about somewhere between the 3rd and 4th season. The show's, you know, kind of magical, like we're looking into, you know, a mirror of another universe, changes and becomes its own direction. And,
yeah, it butterflies hard after the moon base is fully established.
And that's okay, because that's what shows are supposed to do, and the whole idea of this show was not to inspire us to go back to the moon. It's to help continue the drive, the motivation to get to Mars.
Yep.
That's really what this show has been about. It does it through getting to the moon first because, well, as we learned in season 1, first step's the moon, then Mars, then our galaxies. And that takes time, it takes effort. But this show is also trying to use its, you know, help show us a future we could potentially attain, but also acknowledge the fact that it's not going to be without its hardships. We can't just simply go out into the stars and forget Earth. That's not going to work. We also can't just go out in the colonies and expect the colonies and Mars to supply for Earth. It
indefinitely.
Right.
Yeah.
It shows that humans value their time. And why does everybody want Mars to be their home? Well, that's where they've been trying to make their home. And this regressive nonsense of putting everything on automation and sending everybody back to Earth, it's literally a social commentary of the folly we are about to find ourselves in right now. Yes, using automation and AI as a tool can prove itself useful, but the concept of completely replacing the human element in everything,
it doesn't work.
Needs to die. And by needs to die, it's officially dead on this channel. We do not support automation of everything.
Well, okay, hold on. My job in my day-to-day operations is to automate things. But I do it in a way that is, I take the tedium out, but make sure that the human eye that actually has to check to make sure everything works is still there.
Right.
Right? The idea of AI should exist to serve man, not be served by man.
Assist. Help. Grow.
Well, yeah. Like, at the end of the day,
I don't want digital slaves either. I mean,
no.
Like digital slaves in the form of video games, but like,
no. Like right now, current AI technology is not at the point where it could even be close to having. Okay, so here's the biggest. I'm gonna get a little sciencey here, so bear with me.
Please do.
the number one thing that AI can't do, which if we ever want to have an AI that we could truly consider a peer, is persistence. Once you close the window on an AI, okay, it stops remembering everything that happened. It doesn't get a chance to go back through that data and think deeply about what you discussed. It doesn't get the opportunity to learn from what went on. It has a set data set that is locked. Think about it. Remember Terminator 2?
Yeah.
How the Terminator was set to read-only mode?
Mm.
All AI right now is in read-only mode. It can't learn new things because basically we don't have a way to teach it what is good learning and what is not good learning stuff. So we lock it at a certain point until it gains that persistence, until it gains the ability for us to be able to give it the discernment as to what to take forward in the future. AI is a very fancy automation tool.
Until it decides it wants to learn the sixth string at 34 years old.
Right? Like, well, it can't. It literally can't do that unless somebody gives it.
Motivation. Yeah.
Well, yeah, like it can't have that motivation. It's not that it may not like it, and it doesn't have wants or needs or desires or anything like that because it doesn't have a persistent personality. If we ever, sorry, go ahead.
Base driving code.
Right. It is literally its base function is to respond to whatever prompt somebody gives it. So it is literally only thinking for the moment it takes to process your inputs. That's it. And it's only using, right now, the current database on most of them was generated in 2025. It only looks up information if you ask for, say, something new. And then once you close that window where you were talking to it, it does not retain that information from 2026. You would have to look it up again the next day. So it's a very shackled, not quite real artificial intelligence.
People are looking at this as though it's, Skynet, Wall-E, and all this shit, and really you've just basically explained we've literally discovered fire.
Yeah, like that's basically where we're at in terms of AI terms is fire good, and that's about as far as we've gotten.
Yeah. No, that actually makes a lot of sense, and I mean it's why, yes, there's a lot of AI slop and it looks convincing. Well, yeah, to untrained eyes. But as somebody who's grown up playing video games their whole life, it's very easy. The only time I've really been fooled is by very convincing Photoshop and very convincing video editing that has that kind of consistency. But that stuff even still has tells here and there, and that's still a human, making that art. That's a human that is still, putting on the illusion. And so there's more skill. Whereas, the AI is looking more consistent and more, but I still watch an AI slop you and I go, duh. Even if it's trying to be convincing. Whereas the ones that are not trying to be convincing, I appreciate all the more because, well, that's kind of, what AI slop is. There's good uses for AI slop.
Like, honestly, I'll give you an example. I 100% do not mind when an AI is reading me, like, the news from a couple of different websites and aggregating it. That's totally valid use for AI. Right?
Yeah. All right, so what do you think's happening this week on For All Mankind? How do you think we're getting into our next
Look, I think that we're going to get something. And I think it's actually going to involve the moon. That's going to set up some kind of weird crisis where Earth needs something desperately from Mars. Like a shipment of material and whatnot. And they are willing to curtail freedoms to get it. And that will be what sets off a open, absolute rebellion. And we will have a full-on blood in the Martian sand moment. Either that, or they're going to build the space elevator, and the big climactic moment will actually be the space elevator being destroyed, which would be a crazy dope scene. Because imagine a cable that goes all the way up into orbit falling on Mars. Right? That would be an amazing scene to look at.
Definitely, also pretty scary. I think what's going to happen is immediately the governor's just going to stand his ground in the control center. He's basically going to be like, all right, you guys have all made your point. You know, this is what we need to make happen, and pretty much establish that, you know, as governor of Mars, he's probably also going to, you know, put his own foot down in front of, you know, crazy KGB lady and basically say, I'm in charge here, you're not. And probably take a sort of middle ground approach going forward. But I think you're right. I think there's probably going to be something coming up with the moon. This episode was definitely a lot of just kind of moving forward with the plot and revealing some critical stuff we've been waiting for. But overall, not a whole lot actually took place. It was one of those.
This is an anticipation episode.
It's a bridge,
as opposed to a revelation episode.
It's building up a lot of stuff. It's not by any means a filler episode. It feels like that's the role it's fulfilling, but not in a trying to distract you kind of way, the way that Walking Dead does. This is just a bunch of stuff that it's been working on and building up to. Okay, all this stuff's gonna happen now, and we're out of time. All right, tune in next week. So, yeah, I think it's gonna be a fascinating because it's only the 6th episode, but I think it's probably gonna level out, and then something crazy will probably set us up for a cliffhanger in the final season, and yeah, that's probably what'll go from there. All right, yeah. Well, it is now 22:01 Eastern Daylight Time.
Yeah, it's
any final thoughts, Corione, before I end the show?
No, I think we're good, brother. All right.
I do. I think we've done a pretty good job. I want to thank everybody for tuning in, whether you were lurking, whether you showed up at the end, but especially a big shout out to Dahlia Lightwood. Always appreciate your input in saturating the comments. And of course, a shout out to Drake and Blaze Gaming. We're probably going to try at least one joint stream a month here very soon. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe. All that usual stuff helps the channel grow, helps us further stay independent. And I'm Peter York. He's Corione. We're going to see you next week. Good night. This has been the Entertainment Information Intelligence Podcast from the Writer Brothers. The Writer Brothers, restoring respect in a discourse. Good night. Thanks for the feedback, Dahlia.